So I'm going to see if I'm live. All right, let's see. Sometimes this thing gives me problems with data, like internet and all that. So I am live. So I'm going to move this over here just so we can actually get a good connection. So anyway, you think you can beat the spirit of Antichrist, right? By yourself? Think again. Now, let's say you're in the end of the world, and let's just basically, if you're in the end of the world, and let's say you're trying to outsmart him, or if you're trying to outbeat him, you're not gonna be able to do that because he has his cunning ways of forcefully making you bow down to him. Now, I don't know the scenario, but I mean, I tried to warn everyone about a certain man on YouTube. It was no YouTuber. He was a musician. His name was Calvin Klein, or whatever his name was, and he had also the disciples. And these people were they had the spirit of Antichrist, and also they had the Antichrist spirit, and you know, what that's all about. So I tried to tell them I know the spirit, I know what it's like to have that spirit, and only two people in the world have outbeaten the spirit by themselves. It was by God that He cleaned me of that spirit. So honestly, if you can think you can outbeat that spirit, then and you think, well, I can do it by myself, then no, you can't. Only God can. And yes, He will. He's not going to leave this. He's not going to leave this world with a spirit in this place. He's going to talk to people. He's going to give them advice to where he will go. He's going to go. He's going to be in the Bible. He's going to stay with the word in the Bible to where you should go, and it's basically to the hills. Do not be in the city. Do not have anything. Farm yourself food so that you can actually not outsmart the Antichrist, because no way can you ever outsmart the Antichrist, but just be on the outskirts, because everyone in the cities will literally, be part of the Antichrist system. It's not just Judea, it's also all cities where the Antichrist spirit will be everywhere. And they'll take hold of anyone that buys and sells and do anything. So you have to be a farmer in the end of the world to prove yourself that to God that you're really serious. So if anyone's caught on the outskirts, they will be handed into the Antichrist system to, give up the spirit of God, or give up the true spirit of God, or else you'll be tortured. And he'll torture people with fire, with anything of any means to deteriorate the human being until he beheads them. Yes, he'll behead you for being in the end times when you're being a Christian. Now remember, I've had the Antichrist spirit before. I'm familiar with all this stuff. I know what it's like to have the Antichrist spirit. And I get to be the living testimony because I'm the only one in the world that has this testimony. So that means, by any means, I'll be out in the community, in the outskirts, guiding you people if that's the case. But if I am like one of those moderate Christians, then I won't be. I'll be the only one to ever had that Antichrist spirit, and then if I leave here, it's up to you to know by my video what I'm talking about. So let me give you hints, because this video, I hope it does not get deleted. I hope you get it on the file somewhere. I hope it's read for some of you people. And I hope this turns into a guide of how to avoid the No, how to avoid the Antichrist spirit. So this Antichrist, I had he, I mean, he's a dragon, so he's a serpent. Just know that. It feels like you're in a crystal esque way of feeling. It's kind of a different way of feeling, but it's like, how do you describe it? You can't describe it, but really, it feels like calming, soothing. It soothes like a snake, but it soothes like a serpent. This serpent is so cunning that just by, listen to Trigon's, um, Trigon, um, something for London. So if anyone does a Trigon song, that's one of the ways you can tell. But basically, Trigon did a song called "Killing for London," and at the end of the song, you can tell that this Antichrist spirit had left a mark on his people by that song. He also did other songs by certain people. I know there was one of them by Calvin Klein, or no, yeah, Calvin Klein, yeah, and he was the one that ended up causing a lot of people to not see what he was doing, but he had the Antichrist spirit. But you can tell by the car racing. I was living in cars, but car racing and the beautiful ladies. But he also had the implication that he loved beasts. He was a wild man of his beast. So really, I'm being symbolic. So his music would sound like the wild call of the wild of the beasts, and it would have the dragon in it in some of the songs. And I know that the dragon feeling I had was in some of the songs. You can listen to some of these very subtle references that you can listen to, but you're probably not going to get it. So people like Calvin Klein are very deceptive with that feeling. But also know that I told people against his will that he was the Antichrist, that he had the Antichrist spirit, and that he was literally a puppet under the Antichrist. Now know that this guy, he basically was warned off by me, but his spirit was attacking me that night. And indeed, his spirit was going after me at that night. So what that meant was that spirit was going to do horrible things to me that night. He was going to want me to go to hell. But God told me, no, please, please pray that you are protected, but not in a panic way. But he was going after. He was basically trying to protect me, and I prayed to God. Okay, I'll pray to you that please that you can protect me. He said, please, be more serious. And I was brushing it off, falling asleep, and then next morning I didn't even realize what was going on. I thought, okay, that doesn't seem like an attack. But then I heard this note from my cat Simon, who was deceased, but he is a beautiful animal, so he's in heaven. So it's complicated, but someone that I know from heaven, it was an animal. Don't leave. But the cat ended up saying, I love Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ loves you. He loves you dearly. But he was very concerned about you. He truly was. He truly loves you, and he was very concerned. He was very concerned about you because of what you did last night, because of what was going on last night. We were all fighting over that evil spirit last night. You didn't even know about it, and we were. I was. I was even fighting over the fact that the demon was trying to attack you. Even I was. So what that meant, and he was a bigger creature, by the way. God and his angels were all fighting over that Antichrist spirit, and basically, anyway, that meant that and he basically entered my dream, and all these things were happening, but it was a huge fight. It could have ended up really terrible. that would have been the end of me, because I don't even realize how bad it was either. But I know it was terrible what was going on. So the Antichrist spirit is truly the worst thing that you can ever imagine, because if anything it could have happened, it would have happened in my dream. And Jesus would have had to been bearing that witness to the people that the Antichrist spirit is very strong, and that you have to flee to the hills and nobody can protect you in these cities. That could have been my witness over my deceased body. Over that, I would have been the witness to tell everyone I would have been that strong, but not even me, not even I could defeat that Antichrist spirit. So that means that God is not strong enough. No, that doesn't mean that, but it means that if you bow down to that Antichrist spirit, you're done for. You only have one masters over two masters. You only have one master. Either Satan, the beast, that Satan is the beast, which is the Antichrist spirit, which is demons. So the Antichrist spirit is Pope Yobel, or it's Jesus, which is a prince of God, which is really the Prince of Peace, which is God within him, which just only means that he'll protect you over everything, no matter what. So he'll give you a guide in the end of days. I mean, some people say, well, he's not going to be with you. I say he's going to be a guide. He's going to be like the cloud in the valley for some of these people. He's going to be the cloud to go to the hills. You'll have to flee the valley and to go to the hills. You have to leave your babies behind. Your baby's going to perish. And even worse, you could lose your soul because of this Antichrist spirit. This is at the end of the world we're talking about, where all these spiritual attacks are too much for one human being. So if you have God within you, you should be set, because we will be raptured out of here. We will be completely set for heaven. But once you're left behind, you have to follow these guides of God. And if you don't have God's spirit, you're in danger. Because some of these people will have God's spirit, and they will be the teachers. You will follow them. God will follow you. The teachers will follow God into the most hidden parts of the hills, where no one lives. They'll be having underground shelters in churches in the hills, where they'll be teaching everyone. And if they get caught, well, everyone gets tortured there, or they get to part of the Antichrist. So it is a most unprecedented time, because no human flesh or no human nature of God will be saved if the times were not shortened. It will come immediately. So it's 7 years. That is the absolute limit of length of time that God's going to allow this to happen. It's only going to get worse from there. His judgments are going to get worse, and so is Satan's attacks. Again, you think you can really attack Satan, and basically you really think you can outsmart Satan by your own flesh, and go to the city and basically have the best of luck, basically outsmarting Satan and eventually defeating him. No. He's going to defeat you first, because he's a spirit. He knows what he's doing. He is going to absolutely, he's going to absolutely, you're going to be a joke to him, especially if you don't have a spirit. God's spirit. Jesus' spirit. You know? we need to be raptured out. We need to be raptured out first. So if anyone goes in the hills, they will obey God. Then there will be torture sites. If you obey me, it's basically a force thing. If anyone forces you to obey him by being tortured, then you know that's bad. But if he's deceitful and he has deceitful guards, quite literally, you know, in their cunning ways, in their spirits and their cunning ways to, you know, obey them, that's how you're basically deceived. Because that's how the Antichrist implements all that. All the Christians that do not take the mark will not be. Any Christian that takes the mark will be part of the Antichrist system. That's how he implements that. It's by spirits and by humans. Humans are like children. They're used by pedophiles to bring the children to him so that they're both, you know, abused. And then that child becomes that victim to bring the one of the children. It's like a cruel cycle. So basically, let me tell you something. A sheet of demons will come from the sky and cover the entire sky blackened, so the sun will be black and the moon will be red. America's going to be the spot where it's going to be called Babylon. Well, anyway, I think I've had enough time to talk right now. I think I'll be done now, okay? Bye. Hello. I just finished my video, okay? Good.